Okay, now let's get into it. Get into it, yes. Welcome back. Are you ready for more? In the last video, we discussed the two versions of Suspiria with all their differences and similarities. And we're going to continue that in this video as well. So if you haven't seen the first video, make sure you check it out here and come back to this one and yeah, enjoy this Suspiria saga that we've been on. Also, new setup. Yeah, tell me if you like it or not. I thought it'd be fun to just switch things up, so doing it. Also, I don't know if y'all noticed last time, but I have a Suspiria dress on. I'm really excited because I didn't know this existed, and I was just looking for some Giallo like clothing, and I found this set. And because, you know, it goes with the sleeves and then, yeah. So, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. I hope you are ready for the drama. In Dario Argento's original film, witchcraft is primarily depicted as a malevolent force. The witches run the dance academy, using it as a front for their dark rituals and exerting supernatural control over their surroundings. This portrayal into traditional horror tropes of witches as evil, secretive, and manipulative figures. The theme of femininity is intertwined with vulnerability and victimhood as the young female students, including Susie, are often portrayed as naive and susceptible to the witch's power. Power dynamics are stark, with the witches holding almost absolute control, hidden behind a veneer of nurturing educational institution. The power here is depicted as something to be feared and combated. Luca Guadagnino's remake takes a more complex approach to these themes. While witchcraft still underpins the narrative, it is portrayed in a more ambiguous light, suggesting themes of empowerment and liberation alongside danger and deceit. The film delves into the internal politics of the coven, presenting the witches not just as villains, but as characters with distinct motivations and conflicts. This version explores femininity in terms of agency and power, with Susie's journey reflecting a transformation from innocence to a position of power within the coven. The remake's portrayal of power is nuanced, exploring how it can be both creative and destructive. The dance itself, a traditionally feminine and artistic expression, is used as a literal medium of witchcraft, suggesting that the women's power is tied directly to their artistry and bodies. And is also tied directly to the like and subscribe button below, where you too can harness the power of being a boss-ass witch who enjoys torturing unassuming and anonymous users with niche artifacts. You get it? Seriously, only 17% of you are subscribed to the channel, so please make like a witch and bippity bobbity boo that subscribe button, bitch. I'll be like that. The original Suspiria uses the theme of witchcraft to drive a narrative of horror, with the witches serving as a hidden, threatening presence that must be uncovered and overcome. Femininity is linked with vulnerability, and power is something wielded by the antagonistic forces. In contrast, the 2018 film uses witchcraft to explore themes of female empowerment, autonomy, and the complexities of power. It presents a more layered examination of what it means for women to hold power, to navigate internal divisions, and to use their art as a form of expression and control. The differences in these portrayals reflect broader shifts in cultural narratives around gender and power, with the remake offering a more contemporary and feminist reinterpretation of the themes presented in the original. Now, let's discuss a theme that was less explicitly explored in Dario Argento's 1977 Suspiria. And I'll tell you, it's giving mother.
It's giving mother?
In the remake, the theme of motherhood emerges as a significant, complex element, adding depth and layers to the narrative that were absent in Dario Argento's original 1977 film. This theme is woven into the film's fabric both literally and metaphorically, ending its exploration of femininity and power. Starting with Mother Suspiriorum herself, the concept of Mother Suspiriorum, or the Mother of Sighs, is crucial to the Coven's mythology in the remake. Unlike the original, where the maternal aspect is not explicitly explored, the remake delves into the identity and significance of the three mothers. Mother Suspiriorum, Mother of Sighs, Mother Tenebrarum, Mother of
Darkness,
and Mother Lacrimarum, the Mother of Tears. These figures are revered and evoke a primal mystical form of motherhood that governs and guides the coven. These figures all reference the Three Mothers trilogy Argento sought to create based on Thomas de Quincey's essay Suspiria de Profundis. Technically, he did complete the trilogy with
Inferno in 1980
and The Mother of Tears in 2007. I haven't watched the last one because, well, I don't really know. Maybe I should watch the last one and give my opinion on it. So what do y'all think? Although Madame Blanc's maternal aspect was not included in the original character, Tilda Swinton's interpretation of Madame Blanc exhibits a complex maternal affection towards Susie Bannion, the protagonist. This relationship is layered and multifaceted, oscillating between nurturing and manipulative. Blanc sees potential in Susie not just as a dancer, but as a spiritual successor, guiding her with a mix of stern discipline and tender care. This dynamic introduces a form of motherhood that is intertwined with power and creation, as Blanc prepares Susie not just for performances, but for a deeper role within the coven's esoteric structure. Susie's background includes her relationship with her Mennonite mother in Ohio, who is shown on her deathbed denouncing Susie as her sin. Wow, it's giving Carrie, am I right? This personal history highlights a rejection by her biological mother, contrasting with the acceptance and pivotal role she finds within the spiritual motherhood of the coven. The theme here reflects on the formation of identity away from one's roots and the seeking of new forms of familial and maternal connections. Helena Marcos, another maternal figure, if you can consider it. Not all our mothers were great. Embodies the corrupting aspect of power. Claiming to be Mother Suspiriorum, Marco's decrepit state and tyrannical rule over the coven serve as a dark mirror to the nurturing potential of motherhood, showing how it can become possessive by selfishness and greed.
Barbara, please!
The climax of the film centers around a grotesque and surreal ritual of rebirth, an obvious maternal connotation symbolizing Susie's full acceptance and embodiment of her new role as Mother Suspiriorum. This scene is heavily loaded with maternal imagery, with Susie literally and figuratively stepping into the role of a mother figure, marking a stark departure from her previous identity and embracing a new form of powerful, nurturing authority. The theme of motherhood in the 2018 remake of Suspiria is integral to its narrative, offering a more emotionally resonant exploration of its characters and the dynamics of power within the coven. By contrasting different forms of maternal relationships and influences, the film provides a nuanced commentary on the roles women occupy and transform, both in their personal lives and broader social structures. The character development of Susie Bannion, the protagonist in both the original Suspiria, directed by Dario Argento, and its remake by Luca Guadagnino, provides a clear illustration of the differing narrative approaches in the two films. In the 1977 version, Susie, played by Jessica Harper, is portrayed primarily as an archetype of the innocent, abroad, somewhat typical horror film protagonist who is thrust into a nightmare scenario far beyond her normal comprehension. Her character development is relatively limited, focusing more on her reactions to the increasingly bizarre and dangerous events around her rather than on her internal growth or complexity. The narrative drives forward through her experiences and discoveries within the dance academy, but there is less emphasis on her psychological depth or backstory. Her character serves more as a vehicle to explore the horror elements of the story and the thematic confrontation between good and evil. Jessica Harper's portrayal of Susie Bannion in Dario Argento's original Suspiria is iconic. Not only for her compelling performance, but also for how she epitomizes the archetypal final girl in horror cinema of that era. Harper's Susie is the innocent, somewhat naive American who travels to a mysterious European dance academy only to find herself embroiled in a nightmare. Her performance conveys both vulnerability and strength, making her journey through the maze-like academy one filled with tension and terror. Her wide-eyed innocence contrasts sharply with the darkness of the academy, making her eventual triumph a classic horror movie payoff. Contrastingly, in the 2018 remake, Susie, played by Dakota Johnson, is given a much richer and more nuanced character arc. This version delves deeply into her backstory, motivations, and transformation throughout the film. Susie comes from a Mennonite family family in Ohio, and her escape to Berlin to join the dance academy is portrayed as both a rebellion against her repressive upbringing and a deeper, almost mystical draw toward the dance and the shadowy secrets of the academy. As Susie integrates into the academy and rises quickly to prominence within her troupe, her complex relationship with Madame Blanc, Tilda Swinton, adds layers to her character, suggesting themes of mentorship, maternal influence, and the search for identity. Unlike in the original, where Susie's role is to uncover and survive the horror, the remake Susie undergoes a profound transformation that aligns her with the dark forces of the academy, culminating in her assuming a central role in the Coven's hierarchy. This transformation is psychologically rich and is supported by thematic explorations of power and belonging. The original film portrays Susie as more a traditional horror hero, primarily reactive and somewhat passive, designed to navigate a series of external challenges. Her development is limited to her increasing awareness and eventual confrontation with the supernatural threat. In contrast, the remake Susie is crafted with considerable depth and agency, undergoing significant internal changes that reflect broader themes of personal and ideological transformation. The remake uses her character to explore complex issues such as the nature of power, the search for identity, and the breaking away from past constraints. This stark contrast in character development between the two films highlights the shift in horror cinema from focusing on external threats and straightforward narratives to more layered, psychologically complex stories that seek to explore deeper human conditions and emotions through the genre. Now, let's talk about one of the main reasons that made me break down and watch this remake finally. Tilda Swinton. I love her so much, and she's incredible, and she does fantastic in my opinion, and it's kind of really cool and crazy that she plays 3 roles in this film. So, you know, your opinions on her can be whatever, but as far as I'm concerned, I love her. Tilda Swinton's unique contribution to the 2018 remake involves her playing 3 distinct roles, showcasing her extraordinary range and commitment. She plays Madame Blanc, the sophisticated and charismatic dance instructor, Dr. Joseph Klimperer, an elderly male psychotherapist credited under the pseudonym Lutz Ebersdorf, and Helena Marcos, the grotesque and decrepit witch who claims to be the Coven's matriarch. Each character is dramatically different in terms of appearance, mannerism, and function within the story. Swinton's portrayal of Klimperer is particularly noteworthy as it adds a layer of deception that plays into the film's themes of identity and reality. Her ability to enact such diverse roles adds a rich texture to the film and blurs the lines between the characters' true natures and their appearances. Let's talk about Jessica Harper's cameo in the remake, which I kind of really enjoyed. Jessica Harper returns in a cameo role in the 2018 remake, playing Anke, the wife of Dr. Joseph Klimperer. Anke, shown mostly in flashbacks and in significant scene towards the film's conclusion, represents a connection to Klimperer's tragic past during World War II. Harper's brief but poignant appearance serves as a bridge between the original film and its remake, paying homage to her earlier role while contributing to one of the new film's more emotional subplots. Her performance, though limited in screen time, resonates with the themes of loss and remembrance that permeate the remake. The casting choices and performances in both versions of Suspiria are central to their impact and reception. While Jessica Harper's iconic role defined the original film's traditional approach to horror, Dakota Johnson and Tilda Swinton's performances in the remake explore the genre's potential for deep psychological and thematic exploration, enhanced by Swinton's unique versatility in multiple roles. Dario Argento's original Suspiria was released in 1977 and quickly became one of the most celebrated films in the horror genre, particularly noted for its distinctive style and use of vibrant colors. The film received mixed to positive reviews upon its initial release, with critics praising its innovative visual and auditory design, but some critiquing its narrative coherence and reliance on shock over substance. But hey, I would say, have you ever watched a Dario Argento film? Over the years, however, Suspiria has gained a significant cult following and is now widely regarded as a masterpiece of horror cinema. It's especially acclaimed for its pioneering use of color and sound, which have influenced not only horror films, but also broader cinematic techniques. The film's score by Goblin has been particularly influential, often cited as one of the best in horror film history. I would have to agree. As the years have passed, the original Suspiria has grown in esteem, frequently appearing on lists of best horror films of all time. Its stylistic flair and the emotional emotional intensity of its horror sequences have continued to be a major influence on both filmmakers and critics. Its reputation within the horror community remains high and is often shown at film festivals and retrospective screenings. Suspiria is now considered a classic of the Giallo genre. Don't unalive me. And is celebrated for its artful approach to horror storytelling. Luca Guadagnino's remake of Suspiria debuted in 2018 to polarized reviews, reflecting a broad range of critical and audience reactions. The film was praised for its ambitious scope, depth of thematic exploration, and strong performances, particularly from Dakota Johnson and Tilda Swinton. Critics lauded its elaborate dance sequences and psychological complexity, viewing it as a thoughtful reinterpretation rather than a straightforward remake. However, it also faced criticisms for its lengthy runtime, dense narrative, and in some cases, its stark departure in tone and style from the original. Despite the divided critical reception, the 2018 Suspiria has been appreciated for its unique artistic vision and willingness to innovate, distinguishing itself from the original while still paying homage to its spirit. It has attracted a niche audience that appreciates its blend of horror with art house cinema aesthetics and its exploration of dark themes related to power, identity, and history. The 2018 remake is still relatively recent, and its long-term impact is yet to be fully determined. However, it has already established itself as a cult favorite for a segment of the audience, particularly those who value horror that challenges genre boundaries and engages with complex themes. The film is likely to be revisited and reevaluated over time, potentially gaining greater appreciation as a standalone work that offers a deeper, more introspective take on the themes introduced by the original. Both films exemplify how different eras and cultural contexts can influence the interpretation and execution of horror, with each version of Suspiria reflecting distinct artistic visions and directorial priorities, contributing uniquely to the landscape of cinematic horror. So if you're like me, when this first got announced, you were like, why? So I'm about to tell you. Guadagnino has mentioned in various interviews that he has been a fan of Dario Argento's original 1977 film since he was a teenager. The film had a profound impact on him not only because of its artistic style, but also due to its powerful imagery and the emotional reactions it elicited. In an interview with The Film Stage in 2018, Guadagnino shared insights about his connection to the original Suspiria, noting, "I saw the film when I was 14 and it had seismic impact on me. I thought it was so specific in creating this incredible magic box that was at the same time horrific and enticing." This deep personal connection to the original film was a primary motivation for his remake. Guadagnino saw Suspiria as a formative cinematic experience, which he wanted to explore and reinterpret through his own unique lens, commenting at the 2018 Venice Film Festival that Argento's film was so beautiful, so mesmerizing and poetic, it didn't feel right to approach Suspiria with the same operatic style. Guadagnino set out to honor the original Suspiria by maintaining its core narrative about a dance academy run by a witch coven while transforming the film's thematic and aesthetic approach. He preserved some of the iconic elements of Argento's film, such as the setting in a dance school and the inclusion of mysterious and supernatural occurrences. Additionally, he incorporated a tribute to Jessica Harper, the star of the original film, by giving her a poignant cameo in the remake. Guadagnino expresses respect and admiration for Argento, emphasizing that his intention was not to overshadow the original, but to stand beside it as a work of its own. He highlighted deep respect for Argento's work and mentioned that his film was made out of the incredible, luminous, powerful emotion I felt when I saw Argento's Suspiria. Dario Argento's original Suspiria and Luca Guadagnino's remake comparatively highlights significant shifts in thematic exploration, character development, and their respective impacts on the horror genre. Argento's film is iconic for its vivid use of color and sound, creating a nightmarish, almost fairy tale horror atmosphere, and it portrays witchcraft and femininity within traditional horror tropes. Guadagnino's remake, meanwhile, offers a more nuanced approach, exploring themes of empowerment, motherhood, and internal coven politics, providing depth through the portrayal of witchcraft and femininity. Character development also contrasts sharply between the two films. The original Susie is a more straightforward horror protagonist, whereas the remake Susie undergoes a profound transformation, reflecting deeper psychological and thematic layers. Tilda Swinton's multiple roles in the remake and Jessica Harper's poignant cameo bridge between the two films, enriching the remake's narrative complexity. Overall, while Dario Argento's Suspiria is celebrated for its groundbreaking style and has influenced generations of filmmakers, Guadagnino's version reinterprets the narrative narrative to engage with contemporary themes of identity, power, and transformation, making it a profound example of how a remake can honor and expand upon the original's legacy. Both films remain pivotal in their contributions to the evolution of the horror genre, each reflecting the cultural and cinematic context of their times. So, I'm gonna be honest, I really wanted to hate on this film. I really did. When I just on a whim decided to watch it, on my plane ride, I was like ready to be a hater. I was so ready. But like as I started watching it, I was kind of like, you know, it's different. It's not like the original one, but I kind of like it.
I was perplexed.
But, you know, I was still like, maybe the pressure's not right. It's affecting me and my perception, my brain. If you're not looking at Guadagnino Suspiria as a remake of Dario Argento's Suspiria, I think that makes a difference, because when people say remake, it's like, oh, we're redoing it exactly what the original director or writer or whatever had in mind for it. Whereas I'm like, how Guadagnino says it's a different version is, to me, the marker, the difference maker between how I kind of perceive the film. As a super fan of Argento's Suspiria, I give Guadagnino a lot of credit on the style, substance, and narrative, because I actually really enjoyed the narrative aspect. It was kind of cool, the exploration of Susie's background and the witch coven, and sort of balancing between the politics in the dance academy and then in 1977 Berlin. It's definitely lacking the vibrancy that I love, as you can tell, of the original one. I think the aesthetic works for the vibe of the film, and I actually do kind of like it. It grew on me a lot. At first I was like, no, I don't like this dreary, muted, disgusting. No, I want flashy, shocky, vibrant, you know, that's my style and personality, if you didn't already notice. I think it works with his overall take. Never thought I'd be here liking Guadagnino's Suspiria remake or version, but here I am. I guess stranger things have happened.
I'm still perplexed.
And maybe it's because I saw the eclipse this year. Yeah, that had a profound effect on me. I bet that's why. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinion on the two films, and if you did or didn't like Guadagnino's take on it, and your perspectives between both films, because it's always fun to talk amongst ourselves in this nerdy group about nerdy things that no one else kind of knows about. So this film has a cult status. I'd like to think that we have a cult status here on this channel, because we talk about things that really, I don't know anybody IRL that talks about. Also, if you like kind of this format and want me to continue doing comparative videos on original horror and the remakes, let me know, because I actually did really like making this. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I think it turned out good. I don't know how the lighting is, but we will find out. We'll find out. I kind of like it. It's less for me to set up, honestly. I'm not going to include that because I don't want y'all to think that I am superficial like that.